Alright, so let's get started. So here we are. We're going to take a look at the operating system and the Chrome browser today. This is question one. What are the three main items you see when you log in? Well, here you are. This is what you see when you log in. Your background picture may be different than mine because I've added my own theme, but you have a desktop, which is the space you see where the picture is there, and you also have icons, which are these elements here. These are icons, file and folder icons, program icons. So you have the desktop, the icons, and also the taskbar down at the bottom. We'll talk more about that in a second. Number two, what is the function of a desktop? Well, the desktop is an organizational tool. Okay, it allows you to put the things you use most often so you have access to them quickly. Up here you see this is my teacher laptop. I have the folders I'm using most often right now, along with a few files I'm using right now. At the bottom there's some other things that the county doesn't allow me to delete, but so I don't use these as much, but these are the things I use most often, and it's a way for me to stay organized and be more productive. So number three, what are icons? Well, icons are just shortcuts. You can see this is a shortcut to a folder, this is a shortcut to a file, and so on. Icons are just shortcuts. Okay, so now we're going to look at the taskbar itself, which is another productivity tool. It's down here, it's this gray bar down here across the bottom. You have some parts of it. Number four asks, what are the elements of the taskbar? Well, you have the start button right here. You can open that up. It's the start menu. It shows you, any of the programs that you have there, along with a few other tools. But the start menu is not going to be there when you get this Chromebook next year, so we're not going to go too much into that start menu. It does have a taskbar. This taskbar down here, another productivity tool, another way you can organize things. On my own personal laptop, I don't keep program icons or folder program icons, that is, on my desktop, because I keep them down here on the taskbar, and you can just drag and drop them from a program menu and have the things you use most often here. So you have the start menu, you have program icons, you also have the quick access toolbar, which is right here. It has the things that the computer starts up when it boots up, and some access to some other things that you may or may not use. But it also tells you, the battery of the laptop here, or whether or not you have an internet connection, or the speakers are on, and that type of thing, in the clock and the date. And then over here on the right hand side, you've got a great tool, the Show Desktop button. It will open, and if you have a bunch of things open, by clicking the Show Desktop button, it minimizes everything. So that is the elements of the taskbar. We'll talk more about the desktop button in a moment. So how do you pin items to your start menu or your taskbar? Well, I already alluded to that. If you go to the programs menu and you can drag and drop them, and they will place them, now you have them down here on the taskbar. So simply drag and drop them. Okay, so talking about the Show Desktop button again. As I said earlier, when you have a bunch of windows open, you're working on a bunch of different things, and you need to get to the desktop real quick, the Show Desktop button right here, this little rectangle, is a great tool for that. I apologize for the size of this screen here, but if I show you the full screen, it gets really pixelated and it's a bad picture, so I've tried to condense it to the point where you can still get a good picture of what's happening, but I can still show you. So right now I have 4 windows open, and I could minimize them one at a time and bring them down if I needed to, and eventually get to the desktop. Or with everything open real quick, I can just click this button right here. It takes me right to the desktop. Everything else is minimized. It's a great little tool. It talks about what does shaking a window do. And shaking a window means to place the mouse pointer up here on the title bar, holding on the left mouse button and moving it back and forth to shake it loose. You can see that it minimizes the window, or rather restores the window to a smaller size so you can work with something behind it. It's one of the ways in number 8 to change the size of the window. You can shake it. But that way you can cascade some windows if you need to or if you want to, so that you can see multiple at the same time. But you still have to size them in other ways so that you can see them better. So moving on to number 8, what are 2 ways to change the size? As I said, you can shake the window loose. If you place the mouse button against the top of the screen, it maximizes the window again. You can shake that window loose, just like that. Or whatever the other one, there we go. Or we can use these buttons here, minimize, and it's called restore, restore down, or maximize the window. That'll change the size of the window. You can shake it loose, and you can also, let me minimize this one, by placing the mouse near the edge of the window, you can see the mouse pointer changes shape, and we can, holding down the left mouse button, drag the window to adjust the size of the window to what it is that we need it. Okay. As I said, the buttons, we can shake or just throw it up against the top, and we can maximize that window like that. Okay, number 9, how do you fit 2 windows of equal size on the screen? Well, again, placing the mouse on the title bar, we shake that window loose, and I can put it against one side. And if I were to drag, and if I were to move the other one and drag that against the left side of the screen, you can see that it maximized the use of the screen, and so you can see most of both windows, equal size windows on the same screen, so you could read one and work on the other, or something along those lines. Okay, question 10 deals with the two ways to select multiple files. Okay, there's some keys on the keyboard that'll help you to do this. Obviously, you can hold down the left mouse button and drag, let me move this over a little bit. Hold down the left mouse button and drag across several files. That can be clumsy and hard to do sometimes. You can, if you want to select a range of files, a list of files that are in a row, you can select the first one, hold down the Shift button on the keyboard, select the last one, and then you've got a range of files you can select if you need to copy those and move those somewhere. A second way is the Control button. We hold down the Control button, and now we can select random files from a list. If the files we need are not in order, we can simply hold down the Control button and get the ones that we want. If we select one that we don't need, we can just click on it a second time, and that one goes away. Select it once, select it twice, it goes away. So that's how we select the files. Question 11 deals with 2 ways you can move a file or folder. Well, you can do just like this. You can select them using Control or Shift, and then we could just drag them to a new folder, wherever we want to place them. Notice it pops up, it says Move to this folder. We let go, it moves them into that folder. Okay? Or we could open that folder, we can come back here and get these files a second time, and we can use some shortcut keys on the keyboard, or we could right click. We'll show you the shortcut keys later. Let's right click on the keyboard. We can say cut, that will move them. We can minimize this window, come back over to this window, right click again and say paste, and then move them all back into place where they were. So you can drag and drop files or folders, or you can cut or copy and paste with the right click. Okay, so for the purposes of our class, and because remember next year that we're going to have this, you're each going to have a device, and that device is going to be internet-based, and it's most likely going to be a Chromebook, and so on and so on. We're going to use Chrome, exclusively Google Chrome for the purposes of our class. Every application, everything you do is going to be through Chrome, just as if you had that one-to-one device this year. Okay? So the icon for Chrome, down here on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, you can see it looks just like this. We click on that, and it brings you to your internet browser. So let's begin. How do we add bookmarks to our bar? We have a links bar right here on the bottom, the places you go most often. How do we add new ones? Well, we can go and we can search, right? We can come here and we can say we want to find something else, I don't know, on sports. So let's go the new Fox Sports 1, right? The new Fox channel. And we found the link. We see it here. We liked it. Yeah, here it is. This is it. All right. We want to make this one of our links, one of the places we're going to go most often. So over here on the right-hand side of the toolbar, we have this little star. We bookmark this page. Fox Sports 1. That's what we want to call it. If we want to abbreviate in that some way, we can change this here, and then we just hit done. Now notice it shows up right here on the list, the Fox Sports 1. I can bring it up here if I want to move it higher on my list, and there it is. Now because I already had some on here, it didn't completely fit, so this down pointing arrow, these arrows right here showed me what else I had there, and I was able to put it there. But that's how I add bookmarks to the places I go most often. You'll see all of my browser windows have this on here, and that way it's just convenient for me to go to places I go all the time, and you'll be able to customize yours in a day or so. So number 14, how do we print using Chrome? Well, we notice over here on the right-hand side we've got these three lines stacked, the Customize and Control toolbar. Okay, if we find something we want to print, we click that and go to Print, or as you see here, Control P, and it opens up this window for us. Whoops. Over here we have the controls on the left-hand side. To the right of that we see the pages. Now notice this first page. This first page isn't very clean. It's got a bunch of stuff we don't want. Okay? Really there's nothing here that we want. So let's go to a story. So why don't we close this and go back to a story so we can get a better view of what's going on here. So let's scroll down here on the page. Let's find a story of something we want. I don't know. Mike Tyson. Let's have a story on Mike Tyson, right? So we'll let that open up. Hopefully that won't take too long. Come on now. Move, move, move. There we go. So it's a video on Mike Tyson, so that's not going to work. So why don't we do this? Why don't we just go to ESPN where I know there's a story, a printable story we can find, and let's say RG3, right? So down here a little bit, we're going to move back over to the right-hand side. Let's pause this. We don't need this video. Whoops. Let's scroll down here. We don't need this video here. All right. Let's move this back over here so we can see. We're going to go to Print. This is on the first page, the second page. You know what? The quote we want, let's just say, is right here on the third page. But let's see what the whole story, we want pages 2 and 3. We don't want 1 or 4, any of this stuff after. Look at all the stuff after that we just don't want. So we're going to move over here to the toolbar over here. And notice here under pages, we're going to put the radio dot there. We're going to say we want to print pages 2 and 3. Okay? And then we make sure we're on the right printer. I'm going to print to my room, which is the 110. So yes, that's the printer we want. And then we would just hit print. Okay, now we only print pages 2 and 3 then. Now this is very important. I need you to listen. You do not have permission to print in this class. Okay, you cannot print things that you want to print. You have to talk to me first. I will approve it. If you print things without permission, I'm going to deduct points from your grade. This is very important. If you print things without permission, I'm going to deduct points from your grade. Okay, so that's how you print in Google Chrome. Okay, so question 15 deals with how do you access ARMS and what is it? So as we just said, we're going to be using Chrome. And from Chrome, we are going to type in and it should come up, .ccpsnet.net. If it doesn't, you'll have to type it in. We want to go there first, and then we have to log in. So we're going to put in our login. Oops. And log in. That brings us into ARMS, Access Request Management Systems. Yours is going to look completely different, maybe not completely different, but different than mine. You'll have different options there. We'll have a lot of the same, some of the same, but I'll have some more. I believe that's how it's going to work. So you see that here. It is a place where the county has given you access to certain software applications to help you with your education. And we'll look at more what each one of those is in more detail later. All right. Number 16, what is your Google Drive and how do you access it? The county has provided each of us with cloud space from Google for all of your stuff, for all of your classwork, anything you work on. Certainly anything you work on in this class, but anything you work on in any class. It's right here. This little triangle is your Google Docs and Drive. We click that. Oh, I'm going to have to sign in another account. Hold on. Sign in here. There. Now I'm logged in with my CCPSNet. I know it's mine because look over here on the right-hand side. That is my address. So this is my drive. And these are the things I have here on my drive. But you access it through ARMS. That way you get everything you're supposed to. So how does a student create a Google document? Number 17. Okay, so we look over here on the left-hand side of the screen. This is our drive. We know it's our drive through school because we have the logo right up here, CCPS logo. And right here on the left-hand side, this little red button is the Create button. We click that, and we can create a document, a presentation, a form, a spreadsheet, even more apps here. We'll look at all of this in more detail later, but this is how we create a folder. We click right here on, let's say, a document. Okay, so number 18. How would a student upload a document to their drive? Document files or folders can be uploaded into your drive, so they're there for you to use. And what options should be chosen? Well, over here on the left-hand side, we have the Create button we just saw. And then we also have this Upload button with the arrow pointing up right here. We can upload files or a folder. I'm just going to choose a folder at this time. Let me move this over so you can see. Let's see. Let me go to my desktop. Let me see what I want to upload. Something I haven't. Some of the video clips that we're working on right now for these lessons. And then we say OK. Notice that we get this message that pops up. Upload settings. This is very important that you pay attention to this because sometimes you're going to want to convert these to Google Docs and sometimes you are not. Sometimes you may want to convert them from a PDF or an image into a Google document. It's important that you keep an eye on this. Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. When you upload documents for class assignments, some of these you are going to want to convert. You'll want to make sure this is checked. So pay close attention to that before you just go ahead and click Start Upload. Okay? So number 19. Number 19 says, where is this list located? It shows you the top of this screen up here. You see this up here? This is all of the things that you have from the county through Google. Image search, Google search, your drive, a calendar, which we will use. Google Sites, which we're not going to have a lot of access to because the county's blocked it. I can create sites and have you edit them. That's maybe what we do later. We'll have to wait and see. Contacts, maps, a mobile app, but also here under More, I think you have some of these things. I'm not sure. We're going to have to find out. But you've got bibliography. It makes citations for you, tips, training for Google Apps, and some other products like SlideRocket, which we will use in class. So that list is located in your Google Drive. 20 says what options are found under More. Well, you see them here, right here. These options are listed under More, EasyBib, Google Apps, all of that, even more. And we'll look at what's there. There's going to be a typing program we're going to use there under even more. Okay, so that's number 20. Okay, so the last two. This deals with Boolean logic and search operators to help you broaden or narrow your search when you're looking for things on the internet. So 21 says, why would you use quotations when searching the internet? Quotations enables you to search for those exact words in those exact places, in that exact order. Just as an example real quick, let's look at Scott Males. Let's search for me. Okay, so here we are. None of those pictures are me. I wonder who these people are. I know who that first one is, and notice that here we have gotten quite a number of results, haven't we? We've gotten 21 million results. Here's my Facebook page, some other people. But if we put this into quotations, now we only have 5,000 results. 21 million to 5,000 results. It's great for searching for people, but also it helps you narrow your search. Here's my Google Plus page. Here's my Google Plus picture. LinkedIn account, Facebook. Driver database. Pics and phone. And some other things. But that's 21. 22 deals with the Boolean search operators. So let's say I wanted to find things about me. The operators are and, or not. And allows you to search for two words together. So Scott Males and soccer. Let's see, we had 5,000 results. Let's see what we have now. We have 424 results. It narrowed it even further. It allows us to be more specific. So here's JV soccer teams. That's interesting. Girls soccer teams. There's all the girls soccer stuff. Male soccer shuts out Scott for, I don't know what that has to do with anything. But the other ones here on the screen are me. Let's say, now when you search for Scott Males, watch what happens. Scott Males. We get that stuff. Wow, this has really changed a lot. Because we used to get a lot of stuff on dogs and Scottish Terriers. But let's say we got stuff on Scott Males, but we didn't want any of the stuff on Terriers. For some reason that stuff used to pop up a lot. So let's say not Terriers. Now we got 8 results. I dropped a catch somewhere apparently. Who knows? Huh. Well, that's one way you could use it. And then or. Or is when you want to broaden your search. So you don't want just Scott Males, you want Scott Males and something else. Scott Males or, let's say, coaching. Who knows? LinkedIn, there's soccer again. There's a Rate My Teacher page. And, yeah, there I am again, blah, blah. So those are and, or not the Boolean search operators. And not narrow your search, or will allow you to broaden your search. All of which can help you find better results when you're searching for things on the internet. All right? Good job. We'll get started now with some chapter 1, and then we'll begin with some exercises. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.